Morning and welcome to another Gribley's Folly Sunday antisocial hour. That time each week when I smoke my pipe and complain about humanity while also answering its questions. And if you are a piece of humanity with an itching, burning, swollen question for me, leave it in the comments down below with the hashtag AskGribs, and I will answer any question. Big questions, small questions, obscure questions, any question is fair game here on the Gribley's Folly channel. Now, last night, I saw a UFO. Let's do the housekeeping first. All right, smoking an old custom built sent to me by Northwest Pipe Smoker, and in it, smoking Northwoods. And I'm lighting it with a Bic lighter and I'm tamping it with whatever. I'm just stalling because I don't want to tell the story. We only have 4 questions this week because I just did a live antisocial in the middle of the week because I missed last week because I was sick. Still kind of sick. Let's... Should I tell the story first or answer the questions? I'm going to answer the questions first. We got 4 questions. All right, Kevin Beringer, Ask Gribs. By the way, if you lack a penis, your question moves to the front of the line. But the fact that this question is at the front of the line does not mean that I think Kevin Beringer lacks a penis. There's just no women in the queue this week. Also, if your question gets marked by YouTube as spam, which like 3 questions from last week that I already answered did. Like I opened my comments folder or spam folder, and there's like 3 questions that I answered last week, and that are now in spam. Whatever. Kevin Berenger, Baron Kevinger, whatever his name is. Ask Gribs. What is Amy Mack doing watching your channel while not making videos of her own? That is a good question. And I sent that question to Amy Mack, and she said, what did she say? She said something about how we should get together on Skype or something like that and do a joint pipe video. And normally I would never say out loud that she said something like that because that will put the pressure on her to feel obligated to make videos, but I want her to feel obligated to make videos. Because we were talking about jokes this week, Grant Reynard asked Gribs. Knock, knock. Who's there? Our last 2 questions are from Over a Pipe. 1, ask Gribs, what song would you like to hear covered by the Smashing Pumpkins? This is a good question because there's already so many good songs that they have covered. Joy Division's Transmission is a good one. Who originally did... I did a great cover of David Bowie's Clones, We're All. I did also... Who originally did You're All I've Got Tonight? That's a great song that the Pumpkins did. You're All I've Got Tonight. By the Cars. That's right. They did a great cover. I think I would like to hear the Pumpkins cover Alan Jackson's Way Down Yonder on the Chattahoochee. Finally, Over a Pipe, ask Gribs, if you were to play Dungeons & Dragons, what would you be? 5E rules apply. Nerd. A shaman. As a shaman, I would predict you'd either be a druid or a barbarian. I'm offended, sir, that you would say that shamans are barbarians. So, here's what I think. I am a level 50 shaman, as you know, certified, bona fide, but I'm also a fat suburban wilderness hero. So I don't know if there's a Dungeons and Dragons category for both of those things. Adventurer, fat lazy adventurer, who's also a shaman. What's the best? Maybe, I don't know, like a dwarf. So, this story is not meant... I'm just going to tell you the story, and you guys can do with it what you would like. I am not a big believer, as you know, as we've discussed on this channel. I am a skeptic about most things, and I'm certainly not a big believer in what I'm getting ready to tell you about. However, I have an interest in these things. It's kind of like how, you might have an interest in British literature, but it's all fiction. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like that. So I have studied phenomena all my life. All my life, I've studied things. I'm basically like a less fit version of Fox Mulder that never got a real job. That's pretty much me. So yesterday was like one of the weirdest days I've had in a long time, which involved, let's see what happened yesterday. Picked up a hitchhiker, set a car on fire, quickly, we put it out, and had to make like a midnight run out to help Shovel and Shane with car trouble. It was a crazy day. It was a crazy day. I was buying Shovel and Shane a car battery and Walmart, and the lady was like, "You're the third person in like 10 minutes to buy a car battery. Like, what's going on? Is it a full moon?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is a full moon." So after doing all that, I came home, and my wife had been out with our son. She had taken him a couple of counties over to visit friends. She was coming home late with him. This was about 11:30 last night, and I pulled in. She had already gotten him inside and in the bed, and she was coming back out to unload the car. So I pull in, and I'm like helping her get stuff out of the car, right? In our house, our neighborhood kind of sits on a hill, and across the road, there is an abandoned industrial complex, like a huge many acres of abandoned industry. That's all in the process of being redeveloped into other things, but the condemned woods that I've showed you, that's part of this parcel of land that's across the street, and they're now developing that. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is no one's over there. There's no like houses. It's all zoned because a long time ago a bunch of people dumped a bunch of horrible chemicals into the land. It's not zoned residential. No one lives there. There are people there around the clock, but they're mostly like security guards and stuff that work in this facility. Several facilities on the same land. So I've got like my arms full of like crap from my wife's car, right? The kid's bag and her bags and that and I'm walking into the house, and I like look over down the street. And above the tree, there's a tree, and sort of like above, like between this tree and the trees in the background, I see a white light. I can't believe I'm telling the story. I see a white light that's like moving, a moving white light. And I think that's odd because it was close, and it was like normally I would hear if it was a chopper. I mean, choppers fly over all the time, and I would hear it. Not hearing the chopper. And then the white light's just like moving along, and then it just goes like straight up, and then it comes straight down. And I thought, that's a fucking UFO. Like, I've read and watched enough videos, and that's a UFO. Like, that's what people are talking about when they have these crazy, crazy stories of the crafts or the lights that move in ways that crafts cannot move. And I stood there for a second watching it like do all this crazy stuff, and I thought, well, what the hell am I doing just standing here? So I literally just dropped everything in the yard and took off running down the street. I didn't tell them. I wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna go check out this. I just did it. I just left and ran all the way down the street to the road down here and watched this thing hover above this facility. And it wasn't like a craft. It wasn't a spaceship. It was like a glowing white orb that would move around, and then it turned blue. It would like switch from white to blue. And I've read UFO researchers in the 60s that talked about this exact thing. And I could not believe it. Like, I couldn't, I don't believe in aliens visiting us. I don't believe in, I don't know. I mean, I don't believe in any of this stuff. But there it was. And I just stood there for a while and watched it do all this crazy stuff. And then it stopped, or it disappeared. It like appeared to fade back into the trees, the way far away trees. It was definitely not up in the sky. It was down, like within a few hundred feet of the top of this facility's roof. And so the Occam's razor says it's a drone, right? Occam, I mean, that's a drone. I've never seen drones move that way. I'm sure that there are drones out there that could. I'm not going to sit here and say it wasn't a drone. So I went and I got in my car, and I told my wife what had happened, and I got in my car, and she was just glad I came back after I ran off down the street. She was like, "I thought you'd finally had enough." Anyway, so I got back I got in the car and I drove down to the facility, and I drove around in the parking lot for a while looking, because I was like hoping to find some kids like sitting on the tailgate of their truck, like with a drone controller, but there was no one there. I mean, the story would not hold up in any sort of scientific like questioning, like, because the easy answer is it was a drone. It was being piloted from somewhere else. It was just someone flew a drone over but it wasn't like, I mean, maybe, I guess it could have been, but I've never seen a drone gain and lose altitude so fast. And like, yeah, I've just never seen anything. I've never seen anything do that. It was absolutely wild. So the main takeaway for me is like my life hasn't changed. I was shook up last night, but I'm fine today. Nothing really weird happened. I just saw a strange light in the sky. I don't now believe that aliens are invading or anything like that. But my main takeaway is all these accounts of people seeing crazy lights in the sky just like that. Now I'm one of those people. Like, even if I didn't tell this story or try to make an account of it, I am still someone who saw something that it's not even that I can't explain. I can't even understand it. I was telling my wife the feeling that I first had when I saw it take that first like swoop, like up, was as if you were like watching someone walk down the sidewalk and all of a sudden they started levitating. Like, it just didn't compute in my brain. Like that, I didn't have a way of like understanding it. And so I guess my main takeaway is like, not that you have to believe every crazy person that says crazy stuff, but at the same time, like, maybe just kind of accept what they're saying is like something that, like, I don't know. I don't know what it was weird. It was very, very weird. And I don't like, I'm telling you that, guys, this because there's not a lot to talk about this week. And now it's just now crossing my mind that maybe I shouldn't have told this story. Like, maybe I seemed crazy enough before I told my UFO story, but it's too late now. I'm not going to re-record. So, yeah, I guess I'm a crazy person, or I'm not a crazy, or the other people that I've always thought were crazy people, maybe they're not as crazy as I thought they were. That's the takeaway. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.